All right, welcome. Audio's working. It looks like my face is moving. Welcome to today's stream. Today's Friday. Really excited about today. I'm really excited about every trading day for the most part, but today's going to be a good day. If you're here for the first time, my name is Tyler, and I'm going to help navigate you through the wild world of day trading futures. It's crazy out there, and we're going to help try to make some sense to what's going on in the markets. And with that, if you're looking to take your trading to the next level, if you would like to save your personal account from being blown up or being drawn down all the time, you can use the code DTJ, and that code will give you up to 80% off right now on a discount for using Apex, for using their eval accounts. You can get a 25K account for as little as $29, or you can get a 50K account for as little as $33. And that way you can start adding more risk, but not blowing your account. Works really well unless you're extremely disciplined. If you're extremely disciplined and you're doing a small account challenge like I am, then join me on the small account challenge as well. With that, let's go ahead and open in prayer and let's get rocking and rolling. We got 8 minutes before the market's opening here. Father, we just honor you this morning. Father, thank you. Thank you for everybody on the stream that wants to join and participate. Father, I pray for increase and blessing over their lives. Father, I pray not just financially, but Father, in every area of their life, Father, that they would see increase and they would see your hand in their lives, Father, making a difference, drawing them closer to you, Father, that they would have a live and an abundant life in Christ, Father. We honor you and we thank you. In Jesus' name, amen. Ashes and Dust. Just found your channel about an hour ago. Trading stocks, but curious to see how you operate. Well, welcome, Ashes and Dust. Is that the name you go by? If so, no problem. If you have another name, I'll try to remember it. But glad you're here. Now, we trade futures. We trade futures. We don't trade stocks. We don't trade options. We trade futures. Multiple reasons for that. The two primary reasons is there is no time decay when you trade futures compared to options, which I hated time decay. Hated it. You can be in a trade, in a futures account, you can be in trade all day and it won't decay over time. Number two, there's tax advantages to trading futures. And I just like it. It's a lot of volatility. It's very similar to options, but we're actually trading the Nasdaq. What you see here is, in fact, the Nasdaq. All of this. So we're going to be going over that. Let's go ahead and run through our top-down analysis here real quick, starting at the daily. We have ran already the previous day high sitting right here, and I've marked out the unmitigated portion of the daily fair value gap that's sitting way over here. Okay, so there's an option that there's an opportunity that we could try to fill the remainder portion of this. And the reason why I say that is if we go into ES, which is a correlating asset, this correlating asset has not hit the previous week high and it's right here. Really, really nicely laid out with a London high sitting right there. That price could push up here on ES. And if it does it on ES, well, we can expect the Nasdaq also to fall in line with that. So there's a potential we could see some of this mitigated. We'll see if it wants to do that. On a 4-hour time frame, we have our London high that has been untouched, which I like that as well. And we've mitigated this 4-hour fair value gap sitting right there. We've also tagged the new day opening gap. As you can see right there, it's come down into the new day opening gap and has bounced from that. Also, we have our monthly and previous week high highlighted by that orange line. The other thing we have in play today is TGIF. Thank God it's Friday, meaning we could see a retracement since it is Friday down to the 20 maybe even 30% levels, which if you look right in between those two levels right here, you see the previous week high is sitting right there, which would be interesting to see price retrace all the way down to that level. That would be a potential trade. So if I'm trying to put an analysis together, personally, I would like to see us hit London first and then maybe sell off late morning, early afternoon towards the 21,970 levels. Right around there. That's the 4 hour. Dropping down to the 1 hour, we have retraced down into this fair value gap sitting right here, which is overlapping with this order block. Because we have an overlapping order block, you can see right there, boom, 1 hour order block. Let's mark that. Price could find the energy to move higher, which is also overlapping with this 1 hour fair value gap. 1 hour fair value gap, boom, right there. We could see price potentially push higher from here, and that's kind of why the narrative I want to see is potentially price coming up to mitigate some of this unmitigated fair value gap, also tagging the London high more specifically. Dropping down to the 15-minute, we have. On the 15-minute, though, we've come up into this breaker. This high, low, higher high, and we've broken lower. And now we've come back up into this breaker level right here. So it's not really concerning. It's something just to keep in mind to see if we're actually going to push through this on a 15-minute level. But if we roll over and start selling off, this is probably the reason right here, is because of that breaker that we're sitting at. Dropping down further to the 5-minute, which is we're just going to see more details on what we've seen on the 15-minute. We have our breaker sitting right here. We have our opening range gap, which is this orange box, is going to be sitting somewhere around here. We got 3 minutes till market opens. I am interested in participating in the 930 model to the downside just for a quick scalp. So far it looks good. I take that back. I'm a little indecisive because we hit this level right here. But we've come up so far that I don't think it's impossible to do. We'll probably take it with small size and see if price wants to actually hit it here. So we're going to get that set up to trade. 15-minute, it's looking like a market maker sell model to come soon. That would be nice. But right now, unfortunately, I see both sides of the market. I see the options to go higher, and I also see that we could roll over right here. So either way, I think if I'm going to go for a bigger sustained move lower, I want the London high to be tagged. Personally right now. All right, we got 1 minute till market opens. I like the fact that we're sitting at this breaker and the previous day high for maybe a quick short here. We'll see if what it wants to do. Quite the jump on that. Let's see, 08. Not quite. Didn't quite give it to us. All right, here's our push higher potentially that we're looking for. Let's see what if it wants to do that. But either way, we're going to sit and wait and let the market work itself out, see where it wants to go. We're right in the middle of a range. I'm not a fan of that. What a candle. All that is a 5-minute candle. I should change that. All right, overlapping price action. All the bodies and the candles are overlapping. I don't want to participate in that. I want to wait. Midnight open, sitting right there, but we've ran into midnight open multiple times already, so we got a little bit of liquidity sitting right here, and then the London high. It's a great question, Ashes and Dust. There isn't balancing. You have to kill the greed. You can't balance it. You need to replace it with something greater. And by replacing, there needs to be a higher purpose, a higher reason on why you're doing what you're doing. Before I got into day trading, when I was considering it, I really struggled on wanting to go down this direction because I felt like the only person benefiting from day trading was me. It was extremely selfish, completely center focused on me. There was no added value that I gave anybody. What value did I give to the world? Knowing that, the Bible says to advance the kingdom of heaven, right? To make disciples among in the nations. So for me, there's a higher purpose to this. For me, it's to help people become financially free so that they can pursue the things on their heart that they believe the Lord's placed on their heart. We're still waiting here. We have a high, a low, high, lower low right here at 9:30, but we just have too much overlapping price action right now. So not really interested in doing anything until we see displacement higher or lower. So for you as an individual, you need to have a conviction in your heart on why you're doing what you're doing. Is it to simply provide financially for your family? And that could be a good reason. That really could be a great reason. Is it really because you want just to make more money and it's all about just, getting the things that you want and having a better, more comfortable life? If that's the case, then maybe you need to reevaluate. If there's things heavy on your heart that you want to see accomplished, then this could be the avenue to give you the financial freedom to do those things. But only you can determine that. Nobody else can. And nobody should be judging that either. Now, we can judge your fruit, we can judge your attitude, we can, as a believer, the Bible doesn't tell it. The Bible actually tells us to judge other Christians, to hold other Christians accountable. So we can do that, but really we don't know what's going on in the inside of your heart. Yeah, Caddy, that's kind of, I would like to see TGIF today on that. I would like to see that. But I really would like to see the London High tagged. Still waiting for our first fair value gap as well. Let's drop down to the 15-minute on that. So this breaker is holding out pretty well, to be honest. That breaker is looking pretty good. Check out the respect of the inversion off the 6 a.m. candle. What time frame there, Ted? Arrow, that's awesome. That would be amazing. To be put in a financial position that allows you financially to do that, but also the time, because day trading we're done day trading in less than 2 hours. You know, there's a lot of possibilities with day trading. So my heart is to make a difference in people's lives with that. Here's the 6 a.m. candle. Why 6 a.m., Ted? Sorry, I don't. My camera's been jacked up and messing around. It might turn off and turn on. I had to recharge the battery. We'll see how long it stays on here. All right, so previous week high is that orange line, which is also the previous month high. We're finding some support in that. Oh, gotcha. Before the equal highs. Do have a passage that I've been holding on to lately. Again, take your time with these and try not to distract you. No worries. If we're sitting here, I'm happy to chat. Right now, I am meditating on Colossians 3:1. Colossians 3:1. For your life is hidden with Christ, and when Christ himself reveals, so you will be revealed with him in his glory. So therefore, put away the things and the evil natures of this world, and put on righteousness. And it lists a bunch of other stuff. That's what I've been sitting on for the last week. I did a blog on it on my channel, actually. On my X profile. What's up, Viking? How you doing, my friend? What's going on? If this candle closes, this 15-minute candle in the next 4 minutes is really going to tell us, I think, what price is going to do. If it stays like this, we may see it roll over here. I would prefer to see it expand higher. Really, there's not much opportunity in this, guys. I mean, I'm really trying to find an inversion and breaker. You could... Let's jump to the 2 minute. Nope, don't like that. Let's jump to the 3. You could play this 3 minute if it closes below it in 20 seconds. That's not bad. But only reason I don't like it is we're at the weekly high or the weekly key level, and we're at the middle of the opening range gap as well. So it's just not as attractive on that 3 minute. But, I mean, it's there. That will, I mean, at a minimum, it would be a signature in price to tell us if price is going lower or not. So, it's that fair value gap right there. Yeah, and like Ted, or like Tony just said, we haven't seen a single fair value gap since the opening price. So we don't want to mess around. Even if it closes below that without a fair value gap, I'm not interested. But I don't know how long you've been trading ashes and dust, but you'll find that there's so many lessons in the Bible that correlate to your journey as a day trader. It's quite crazy. It's quite amazing how, at least on my own personal journey, the Lord has used all these principles and lessons in the Word of God to teach me about day trading. And has brought me to where I am. Now, I'm not a millionaire from day trading yet. Will be. But I'm profitable, and I cover not all my bills, but I cover a majority of them. Easily my mortgage, which I live in a big house. So it's not a tiny mortgage, is what I'm saying. J Money, what's happening? How you doing? How's your week? You have a good week? Profitable week? A week full of lessons? What'd you have this week? Alright, so the 15-minute candle closed lower, and it closed right at the consequent encroachment of the 15-minute BISI right here. See where that body closed? It did close above it. It closed above it. let's look at the 5-minute. The 5-minute, we do have a high, low, a higher high. I'm not going to call this really displacement lower, so I'm not really a fan of that. And on the 1-minute, we're still respecting that 3-minute fair value gap. Great. Just got 6K approved by Apex this morning. Congrats, man. Great. Always lessons, even in the winters. Morning, Patrick. How you doing? One is don't trade Asia. There's been a lot of people on X trading Asia lately because they've been so fed up with price action during the New York sessions, during the morning New York session. I get it. I mean, you get irritated, so you want to try something different. I think it's a lesson on patience, to be personally honest. Today, my goal is to take only one trade on my funded account. So I'm going to be pretty strict on what I'm going to take. We're going to leave that fair value gap right there? Looks like we might. Never mind. I don't trade Asia session. It's I mean, it's the middle of the evening. It's my family time. I do my back testing in around that time. Do my back testing if nothing's going on. Hang out with the family. Like yesterday, we watched the final episode of Beast Games on Prime with the family. Here's a 930 wick. Maybe it's gonna leave, but still no fair value gap. We got volume imbalances showing up all over the place though. We got one here, and we got one there and there, and looks like another one right there. So while it's not giving a fair value gap, it's giving us those gaps there, or those volume imbalances. Now, from a 15-minute perspective, though, you got to remember that this candle is only 4 minutes old. This is another 10 minutes left on this candle, so this could be a wick, or it could decide it just wants to run this direction. Personally, I would like it to run up to there. But it doesn't have to. And it's filled that fair value gap. So I'm expecting price to probably reach down into that volume imbalance there. I think it's a Willie Nelson day. You know, Hang Flying, I'm not sure I'm familiar with that term. I don't know exactly what you mean by that. I'm sure somebody else does on stream. Blue skies. Smiling at... Oh, gotcha. Yeah. Viking, doing good now. I had to take a break for a week now, so I'm fine. To find yourself, I was totally stressed. Totally. I know. I know there's another trader on X that I follow and just like to see kind of their journey. They're doing really well, but they're taking a break today because they are apparently. I didn't realize this, but apparently they've been struggling. It happens, man. It happens. I don't look down on anybody in their trading, because this is one industry where, man, you just got to be understanding in all occasions, because you know how fast it can flip for you. All right, we're going to watch the consequent encroachment of this wick. It's the largest wick there. We're going to see if it wants to try to get above it or if it's going to stay below it. I had only 1 month to pass them. Hang flying, we are breaking out of the range. We have been since November. Are we really breaking out of the range? Are we? Or are we just, doing a little, tomahawk? Or not a tomahawk, what does ICT call it? When you have, your hair is just right down the middle and it's, super spiked. Mohawk, that's the word I'm looking for. Are we just giving it a little mohawk into this? Are we really going to see it hit all-time highs again? All right, so that wick is done. You're thinking big picture. Let's go big. Let's go monthly. It's crazy to think that prices just goes higher and higher, man. Yeah, even if we run, I just don't see an entry to take it towards the London high. Even though I think we're probably running there, I just don't see any entries. We got 7 minutes till the top of the hour. Top of the hour is going to close. 7 minutes. I mean, the narrative definitely from this order block is higher. The hourly closed above that one. There's a good chance we're closing above that one. I feel like we just grabbed liquidity here and we could run for the sell side right here. All that sell side. What do you think? There's not a single fair value gap in any of that, though. Oh, then that looks nasty too. Well, Viking, I'm glad you're back, my friend. Glad you're back hanging out with us. But today, as a stream, we're going to exercise patience. We're going to exercise patience. We're only going to trade our model. Now, if you have a different model, then trade your model only when you see your model. Be patient. Let's exercise that strength of patience and waiting for our setups and not take anything impulsively. Tiny. Oh, you're right. You're right. Right there. Do we include that volume imbalance though there, Tony? I think so. Order block entry right there. Didn't take it, but looked nice. Well, right now we're just identifying order flow. 1 minute order block. Nice. And we also have an inversion potential right here if it doesn't run this high, which it did run the high, so we're out. Is the 930 candle a breaker? Bullish or bearish? Bullish? So you're saying a low, high, lower low. Yeah, you could call it that. It's really tough though. I mean, it's not my favorite by any means. Now, if the 930 level was up here and that was the top of the or bottom of the breaker where you want price to come to, that would be more interesting. But this price here is less interesting to me, even though it does overlap with this order block and potentially this move higher. It's just whatever your risk level is. I mean, if you were going to take it, it would be something like, you know, entry here with a stop loss just beneath there, which is relatively small. It's only 7 handles, so that's not horrible by any means. The risk is manageable, and the potential profit just up to even the midnight open is 20 points. And if we decide to run all the way to London high, you're looking at 40 points. That doesn't look bad. But the question is are we really, is it really time for that? And it could be, because we are right at 10 o'clock. I'm not convinced personally, knowing that I'm only taking one trade. It's not like it's not calling my name if I'm going to try to do a one and done. We also have, I also do like that we do have the previous day high level right there. This green line. But I'm not convinced quite yet. I mean, that looks really nice what you were calling out, Lenu. Even though it's really, really tight, it is like perfectly in line with that order block. It's a breaker, multiple confluences. We see higher price potential to target there. I like it. I do. Just not enough for me to say pull the trigger, personally. And each trader's in a different spot, right? So you may not be doing a one and done trade. I am. So I want to be very confident on my entry. $60 handle void under. Oh yeah, was it that void from yesterday that I wanted price to run into and it never did? Or was that? It was down here. this volume imbalance, I really wanted that to hit yesterday, and we never did. That'd be nice. We could see a market maker sell model. That first fair value gap is being used. Look at that tag of the middle right there. That's like, not quite, but it does look like a little kiss of that first fair value gap before it leaves lower. I'm not convinced of it yet. I don't like that candle at all. It is a fair value gap, but I'm not a, it's just sloppy. All right, so it is 9 o'clock. Let's check back to the 5-minute. Actually, let's jump to the 60-minute. Let's look at the hourly. So the hourly candle did create an order block right here, a bullish order block in these two down closed candles. We did not get up here. We could do an immediate rebalance. We could also reach down to this hourly fair value gap down here. That's a possibility before we push back higher. The 4-hour also just closed. The 4-hour closed bullish after wicking into this 4-hour fair value gap. I like that as well. So if I'm picking a direction, I like higher prices. If I had to pick a direction right now, I like higher prices personally, and would like to see if we can get a retracement down to a level and then move off of that. That gives us a nice entry. 15-minute here, still just overlapping price action here. We'll see if this 15-minute BISI is going to hold for us. Way to go, Ted, or J Money. Also, the kiss of that fair value gap, do you see that kiss we just talked about? Now, there wasn't anything more than just this kiss of the consequent encroachment that really grabbed my attention, so I wouldn't have taken that. 9:30. We do have a fair value gap right here. I mean, I'm going to keep the first fair value gap simply because it is, but I like this one better than anything else. Technically, this is a breaker right here overlapping with a fair value gap for a short play. I'm not interested in shorts right now. Honestly, I think what I want is this now to run lower here, sweeping out some of this liquidity, filling the rest of this opening range gap, and then moving higher. I think that would be attractive. But it's a little sloppy right now for me to want to commit to something. Five-minute is, wow, what a turn of events on that 5-minute candle. That's bullish. That's interesting to take. Entry right there, maybe. We got a breaker right here that looks cleaner than anything else so far. I'm waiting for it to leave this breaker to see if it wants to come back down and tag it. I do like this move. If I get an obvious entry, I will participate in it. But right now, so what I'm looking is for this to close somewhere around here and then for us to come back down. I typically like to have a gap, personally. See if it wants to come back down into this fair value gap, this inversion. This inversion looked nice. It's just, it might run without us. Because I didn't take the entry that I first said I liked, simply because we've gotten a lot of crappy price action so far. Alright, we're testing midnight open right there. I think it's going to go without me. I think I missed my opportunity on this candle. I hesitated. We'll see if it wants to come back down into this breaker here. Otherwise, I will let it run without me. Because still, if we hit the London high, we could roll over. So I'm not gonna kill myself to try to participate in this move, which would be nice. I mean, that would be a 30 handle win. I'd like to get 40 handles with 10 contracts. So, what caught my attention on this candle right here at 10:05? It was this displacement lower, the creation of the fair value gap, and the respecting of 930. So when it did this, I liked it, I just hesitated and I didn't take it. I was probably 80% ready to pull the trigger, but I didn't. Missed opportunity. Great journaling point right there. Taking a snapshot of this and talking about how price came down, swept liquidity, ran this low resistance liquidity, respected 930, aggressively changed direction, filled that one inversion fair value gap, came back, tagged the inversion, had a breaker there, closed at the breaker. I mean, I should have entered. But I didn't. So, be a good one to talk about. To be honest, if I was to say, I think I hesitated because I knew I only have one trade that I'm committing myself to. One trade. So, that makes it... feels like a little heavier on the decision that I'm making, you know? Alright, so there's a small fair value gap sitting right here, overlapping with the first fair value gap. and overlapping with a breaker. So if we don't hit London high, but we come back down here, find support, and then push higher, I'd be interested potentially in that. You know what I think I'm going to do? I'm going to take it on here. And then I'm going to change this. Alright, so my execution is going to be on this screen for my funded account, and then on my shared account, or on the black screen, I will be doing on this screen will be my small account challenge trade. It'll be on this trade. I'll be on this screen. Alright, so we tagged midnight open. Just a quick little tag of midnight open right there and closed green. Do we have a 2 minute in here? 1 minute, a 3 minute. Nothing stands out. Except for this first fair value gap right there. $15 handles? Nah. Too small of a target. It's there. That would be your trade right there, your entry, that fair value gap off of the midnight open. I just don't like how close we are to the London high. It's only 15 handles right now, so I'll wait. I like the idea of all of this liquidity down here. Basically all of that. Oops, all of that. That could just aggressively run lower like that. But before we do that, we have to hit London high. So at this point, I'm not doing anything until we hit London high. Oh, interesting. We just ran. We have a swing high sitting right there on the 5 minute. That's a swing high. There's a swing high sitting right here. You saw me just mark it out. Right sitting above London high of an unmitigated fair value gap that's sitting there from a few days ago. Did I miss my entry because of that? There's the breaker. Oh my gosh. I have the pro version. Oh my gosh. I wanted it to come into this first fair value gap. We had the breaker sitting right here. We rejected it. That would have been a nice entry. Oh, that's interesting, man. Look at that. I'm only playing an inversion if it closes bullish over an inversion. Now I'm grateful for being a little patient here. Are you talking about this right there, Viking? Is that what you're talking about? That's an array. It's this one right here. It's this array right here. Horizontal array. Points. Not screaming my name. Talking about this inversion right here. It's not screaming my name right now. I like how we came all the way back down to that fair value gap. It's just, it's 20, basically a little under 20 handles. But, I mean, I want to see this level tagged. I don't want to commit to it in the sense that I want to take a long to it. I just, if I'm putting my list of what is an A+ trade, this is one of them. A sweep of that, and then we get a breaker to the downside. Entry right there. Entry, short. That's kind of what I would want to see. So, okay, how can you make it an auto stop? Okay. You may have misspelled a word on there, Viking. I'm sorry, I don't understand that. Okay, right now we're respecting bearish order blocks right there. Kiss the midnight open right there. Let's see what it wants to do. This is just us reading order flow right now. How can you make it to auto stop? I don't know what you mean by that. Are you talking about how it jumps to different points? It jumps to the high and lows or the open and close of a candle? Is that what you're referring to? Look at that breaker, man. Look at that. Look at that. Right on the line. To the tick. Okay, so the line stops at the time you make the line. I'm really struggling. So here's this line is the line that I use most often to determine specific levels. That's the horizontal array. We have just the line tool, which allows me to make any type of line, but if I hold shift at any point, it'll straighten it out for me. That's pretty much all I use. This thing right here is a feature on TradingView that allows you, it's called demonstration mode. Okay, so you got it. I got it. Okay, good. See if we close above this inversion right here. We are at 10.24.25. I'm not interested in anything right now, just as you can see how price has been. The only good trade that we missed was right around 10 o'clock, and it was this trade right here. Missed that, so we're not going to try to compensate by getting into something here, because it could still just do this, hit here right around, look at the time at the bottom of the screen, 10:45, and then we start running the direction we want it to. That's a possibility. The shift button. Okay, good. Yeah, shift allows you to snap it to anywhere you want. If you hold control, it actually prevents it from snapping. So if I have this, see how it snaps to the tops or the high, low, open, close of a candle? If you hold control, it removes that, and you can put it anywhere you want without it snapping to a specific area. Isn't that like what happened yesterday near the highs? Tony, I don't remember what I was saying. What was I saying? That we're coming real close to, it kind of lingers and waits till the next hour. Yeah, it does that quite often. And it's so easy to forget about that. And if you can remember, if you start seeing this consolidation, wait, especially if you're in the middle of the hour, wait till, around 10:45 and see what it starts doing then. There's a good chance because it may just consolidate until then. Yeah, I mean, look how unaggressive this price action is. There's nothing stopping price from moving higher. It has, in fact, low resistance liquidity sitting right here. So if it's not running right now, it's because they're holding it in a holding pattern. And I want to wait until the algorithm releases it from that holding pattern by seeing aggressive candles higher or lower. I really don't care. But I just want to see bigger candles than this stuff right here. Yeah, it could run higher. I do have on here, that unmitigated fair value gap sitting here. It is a large fair value gap. We're talking 80 handles. 80 handles of an unmitigated daily fair value gap. But that fair value gap was huge. I mean, it was like 600 points. So it was a gigantic fair value gap. And ever since then, we've been kind of just hanging around inside it. This fair value gap right here. Yeah, that sucker is 550 points. You see these candles, but then you need to look at the time. It's 10:30. Many times, not all the time, but many times I'll see that 10:30 candle be manipulation. It looks like it's running lower, and then it just goes right back into the range. So people will look at that going, oh, it's running, I'm going to go short. And then it just comes back up into the range and continues doing what it was doing for the last 30 minutes. JKGTSY. I don't know what that stands for. I'm glad you're done for the day. Way to go. We're looking for a one and done trade. I haven't taken a trade yet. We're waiting for it. Waiting for something that really just grabs my interest. And I'm committed to only one trade, so that's why I'm being really patient about it. Most of trading is sitting here waiting. It really is. I like this. This is probably going to be filled, guys. Do you guys see that? Volume and balance sitting right there. When I was reading that, T, I was like, a cat? Cats hunt? We feed the cats. What are you talking about? I'm assuming you're talking about like mountain lions, tigers, you know, wild cats. All right, look what we tagged. We tagged the last fair value gap right here. Tagged it. Swept these equal lows. Sweep of liquidity. Let's see if we can get an inversion. Ugh, don't like that. Don't like any of that. This would be a turtle soup if you think we're going to hit the London highs. Yeah, I like that. I just don't like the time. I don't like that it's 10:35. That's an inversion to the upside right here. I'm not going to take it. it completely eliminated that fair value gap there, or this bullish green candle. If we left a fair value gap, maybe, but it completely closed that. Still nothing. Still sitting here, guys. Still waiting for that one trade that just stands out to me. I do like the idea of it moving higher right here. I'm not going to lie. I like it respecting the premium portion of this inversion fair value gap right here. I see multiple reasons for this move higher. I just don't like the time. We're getting closer to the time that I would be open to it. But the fact that this inversion right here was violated, it closed above it and then violated it immediately, that just pulls away some of the interest I have to this push back to the highs. This might be worth it here. Going short here. There's nothing else to the downside. And we got an order block sitting right there. Oh, come on. Too big of a candle. Let's see if it wants to come back up to this level. I'm not interested in shorts either. We didn't hit the London high. We got a 2-minute that has not closed. That's interesting. This 2-minute fair value gap right here. Looks like we're going to get it here in 10 seconds. Barely. Well. That would be an entry for a short, but it violated again this inversion right here. So multiple violations of order flow. It is respecting this order block right there to the downside, but still nothing that's just grabbing my attention. And I'm being extra patient here. Arrow, I mean, you're not wrong. This is requiring a lot of extra patience. Now we're getting to the last 15 minutes. We got 5 minutes till my macro starts for the 11 a.m. macro. So I'm hoping we start seeing something formulate that's going to be obvious. I'm still sticking to my target of London high. I would really want to see that before I take anything to the downside. So it's just too obvious and we came too close. Now I've seen many times where we don't run actually into those levels. We'll stop before and it will sell off. If that's the case, we need to sell off below this 15-minute and I need to see it close on a 15-minute time frame. Because we need to close below this order block, this 15-minute order block right here. Or so those two up close candles, I would need to see these two candles close beneath it to turn this into a breaker for a move to the downside. So I will stay bullish until that happens, until we see this. And then once we hit here, I would hope to see a sell-off there on a 15-minute time frame. From the 5-minute, we got a 5-minute fair value gap sitting right here. If we close below that, that's one indication that we may see prices continue lower. And we got, I mean, look at all this low resistance liquidity. This is beautiful. I really want to see that to play. I want to play that. But for me to have the conviction that we're going to aggressively move that direction, this, in my mind, needs to be tagged. So that's what I'm waiting for. We'll watch and see where this 5-minute closes in the next 2 minutes. I think that will be an indication as well. 930 price is also going to be an indication if we stay above 930. But you can see that it's just not, I mean, it's freaking people out probably. You know, somebody probably thought this candle right here was going to go all the way, and then it just retraces completely. And I may miss the trade. I may not get the trade that I want. And if I don't, I'm not going to take the trade. I'd like to see price clear all the news candles this week. We've had all the news candles cleared. What news candle have we not cleared? Maybe I'm missing it, but I'm pretty sure we've cleared everything. I mean, I would like to play all those wicks to the downside, all that liquidity to the downside. I just don't think I'm ready for it yet. There's a close of 9, right on 930. Look at the respective price to the downside so far. Order block, potential order block. We'll see if it wants to respect it right here. Does it respect that level and then continue lower? Doesn't seem to be. If we get displacement here, I see a low, high, lower, low. I see a breaker right here that I may be willing to try. I'm liking this displacement. I'm liking that it found support at 930. I'm wanting to see if we can hit this breaker, and then we also have a fair value gap and a volume imbalance here that I might wait to see if it wants to reach down into. But at a minimum, right here, that's what I would like to see. I did take a long on my small account challenge. I just entered that. You can see it right there. That is my entry for my small account challenge. I'm going to see if it wants to push there. Currently waiting to see if I can get into another trade on my funded account. See which is definitely heavier than my small account challenge. See if it wants to come back to this level. See if I can get a little better entry. Alright, we did sweep that minor buy side right there. Still in the small account challenge. My target is going to be 169, which is just above the London high. If we get above, if we start breaking above this fair value gap sitting right here, I'll probably move my stop to break even. An aggressive candle lower. I like that. Let's see if it can reach down into this breaker. Stopped right at that order block. I mean, I was hoping for that little coming back down into this. That's really what I wanted. I'm not sure if I want it now, though. Especially for my other account. Market slowing down overall. Pros are shutting down, going out to the Hamptons. It's crazy how different this is to the stocks I've been trading. Yeah, I used to trade stocks there. ashes to dust. I used to trade stocks, but not anymore. Here's our position that we're currently in right now. Just up 10 handles. This would be a 40 handle trade if hit, which is typically what I want for it to hit. Yes? Yeah. We got a on the screen you guys aren't on. We have that volume imbalance tagged with that fair value gap. It needs to close above both of that, which we're right at that level right now. So we need, if we can close above that volume imbalance, I will move my stop to break even. All right, it is looking like it's okay. There's the close above. We will move our stop to break even now. I'm probably going to move my target higher here. I think we have a big push higher that we could see. London highs coming up pretty quickly here. London high is sitting at 22,163. My stop is at break even, so this is a free trade. I would like to see if I can get my profit to $100. If I can get profit to $100, I may close the trade. Wish I was able to take this trade on my funded account. After quiet time is done and you guys listen to 3 chapters and you write a paragraph on each chapter. Okay? If any of you guys have kids, I am current.
Sorry.
If any of you have kids, I currently am having my kids read a book. Another book that I've currently finished. After I finished Failing Forward, I've read Chop Wood, Carry Water, or Chuck Wood, Carry Water. It's like a parable style book. There's London highs right there. Let's see if we get a big push higher from here. Or if we're just, let's see how it wants to react here. Great book. I highly recommend it for yourself and for your kids. It has so many lessons about persevering through hard times. And it's in the form of a story. It's not just principles that they talk about. All right, so we just closed at the high. I like that. Let's see if we can get a push here. want to see a higher high. Okay, there's our higher high. That's great. Looking to see if I can get to $100 basically is what I want. See if you can give me another push higher here. I want to see another higher high. It's important to see the higher high. If we can't see the higher high, it means a potential sell-off. Okay, I'm okay with that. Let's see if it wants to bounce off of that fair value gap, turn that into an order block. Okay, we got a green candle on that on NQ. That's great. Let's see if we can get a big push here over the high. If we can get over that high, come on. Probably getting stopped out. All right, got stopped out for just under 40 handles. No, 25 handles. I let that go back down, probably a little too far for that trade. One and done on the small account challenge. Now that we hit London high and we aren't running higher, maybe we get some displacement and we start running lower. Little sad on my execution on that. I should have closed it. Got myself an extra 20 handles. That's an extra $40 on that small account challenge. Another breaker. I think I'm gonna. I'm half tempted to go short right here. Let's see how if it wants to continue higher. All right, I'm gonna go short. Could be wrong, and then I'm gonna pay for it here. Doesn't look like it's going to go in my favor. Nope. All right. One and done on that account. I won't be trading anymore today, guys. It's Friday. We're going to call it a day. Thanks for hanging out with me. We had one winner for 25 handles. Could have closed it at 45 handles. Let it retrace back to 25 handles. Then we took a short off of the London highs based on a 30-second. Am I extremely happy about it? No. But I'm going to follow my rules, walk away, call it a day. Thanks for being here, guys. We'll be back here next week, 9:15, if you want to hang out with us. Use the code DTJ if you want to get 80% off your next Apex account. DTJ, super quick and easy. God bless. Stay safe. Happy Valentine's Day, and we'll see you guys all next week. God bless. Bye-bye.